Dr. Dana Tassone here to talking with students of HFT4295 about Chapter 1 of the assigned tests. I have to tell you that I'm very passionate about both management and leadership, two different things. I'm passionate about those and have been for a long time. And the reason for that passion is that I believe that individuals in all stakeholder groups are entitled to professional management of people, systems, and procedures. And the reason that that passion drives me is because it's in line with my life's purpose, which is to develop individuals through their evolution. So the text has Chapter 1. Chapter 1 in any text is just an overview of the chapters. It tells you what the chapters are going to tell you. And it starts with the question, what is service? I give you a picture there of customer service or guest services. And it identifies, it's a 4-quadrant model. It identifies services through two axes. First is intimacy, the other is duration. Intimacy, the level at which you interact with someone, and the duration is the period of time with which you interact with someone. And I plot a few sample industries, professions, on the axis relative to those terms. And I also plot a number of hospitality sectors on the grid. And the purpose of that model is to demonstrate something we all should know by now, is that hospitality management is a highly intimate and durable type of relationship with our guests. I then go into a chapter that discusses, or part of the chapter that discusses the stakeholder groups. It identifies who those people are, and it identifies our relationship to them. And after that, there's a discussion of service versus servitude, which are two very, very different things. I can tell by your bio posts that a lot of you are very into the opportunity to serve people, which puts you in really good company, because the majority of great people throughout the world, throughout time, have been service-oriented individuals serving humanity, which is pretty broad scale. We know that management is the accomplishment of objectives through the activities of others in an organization. What is an organization? An organization is a collection of individuals brought together for a common purpose. And so that's part of the text, just provides an overview of management and related terms that we need to learn, many of which you may have seen before. But again, remember, the purpose of this course is not to be able to just define things, not to be able to say what, but to be able to say, how do you do it? If I ask you what is something and you say it's this, this, and that, my next question will always be, well, how do you use it? How do you practice it? How do you put it into implementation? So far we've discussed management activities, which are narrower in scope than management functions. This section provides an overview of management functions that are just to give us the opportunity to further explore them later in the course. How do I become a manager? Well, management is a practice, not an academic discipline, as you'll probably hear me say ad nauseum. People with manager titles are expected to become management practitioners. And that section introduces us to that. And it goes on to describe the role of the service supervisor, which is the first management position that we would hold. And many of you probably are already in supervisory positions. And I would urge you, those who are having those experiences, to share those daily experiences with us on the discussion board. In management, we both plan and execute from the perspective of strategies and tactics. Strategies are long-term action steps, 3 to 5 years. Tactics are short-term action steps, 1 year or less. I provide you with a discussion of that because we're going to discuss that extensively in future chapters. The manager has a toolbox that he or she uses, and that toolbox consists of those skills that are required to practice management effectively. I know a lot of individuals, who have the knowledge of management, but they're still crappy managers. And they know what they should do, but they just choose not to do it, and therefore they've never developed the skills required, the abilities and skills required to effectively practice management by choice. So the toolbox is the things by which we practice professional management, and later on in the text we talk about each of these tools in pretty in depth. So you see at the bottom of the lecture notes, you see at the bottom of the chapter, the text chapter, a list of questions. Do not answer the questions on the discussion board, but answer around those if you like. If you like the topic, for instance, the first one asked you to consider a customer relationship model, the point in figure 1.1, the quadrants I was telling you about. If you have some experience around that, oh yeah, I know exactly how that works. I've seen it in action. Or, you can say, no, I don't know if I agree with that particular model for our industry. It's, I've had experience, and I think customer service in our industry is not durable and intimate, and here's why. So, that's the type of discussion you want to engage in, and you engage in it from your experiences or the experiences of somebody else. So many times I have people that go on the discussion board and they provide definitions of terms. That's not what we're here for. We're here to identify, how do you use these things? How do you use the tools? How do you use the strategies? How do you use the practices? How do you use procedures? How do you use standards? Those are the things we're interested in learning here, or adding to our existing knowledge. And it only can happen through experience. So this provides just an overview of everything we're going to talk about during the length of the course, during the length of the text, and it's a good starting point for us to discuss things in the beginning of the course next week.